So about 2 years ago, I made and installed these custom French doors, and I also DIY'd the double pane glass that goes inside of them. That video is on my channel. I'll link it at the end of this video for people that want to learn how to make that. That video has quickly turned into one of the more popular videos on my channel. Now, in that video, I promised I would update people on the longevity of these units because fogging is always an issue with double pane glass, even in commercial units. Now, unfortunately, the homeowners are actually moving, so obviously I will no longer be able to keep regular updates on the doors. But 2 years is a good sampling to kind of eliminate catastrophic failure on units like this.
The previous clip was in real time, so it's about 90 degrees out in that clip with no moisture in between the panes, and I had enough foresight to take clips of these windows in the middle of winter. You could see same thing, no trap moisture, no fogging issues with them. So I've been working on this set of French doors in the shop, and it came to the point where I needed to put glass in here. I wanted to make double insulated glass or double paned glass, and the estimates I got for it were just exorbitant, thousands and thousands of dollars. So I watched a couple of videos of people that make this stuff for a living, and I made a somewhat simple DIY process for making these panes. Of course, this is not going to replace commercial grade units that are filled with argon gas, but it is, I think, going to be a viable option for people where cost is a factor. I know we would all like the most energy efficient units that are going to perform well, but sometimes cost, well, most times cost is a factor. So I'm going through this process really quickly while I do this intro, because I posted a short of this and I got a lot of questions, and I wanted to clear up a couple things before getting into it. People that don't want to watch the whole video, you should be able to glean enough information from this quick process I'm showing right now to do it yourselves. I did not invent this process. I modified it from a video I saw on YouTube, which I'll link in the description. He used aluminum frames. I'm using foam spacers, which is supposed to be a little more energy efficient, and it was a little more cost effective because I didn't have to buy as much materials. If you do this commercially, there's a lot of expensive tools you can buy. I didn't want to do that because I'm not planning on making insulated glass in the future, so that is basically what this is going to be. So I got the glass cut, and if you're making doors, you should be using some sort of safety glass for that. And then I kind of printed out the instructions online. These are 2 jigs you can buy. I didn't want to spend the money on these because they're not inexpensive. One of them is a notcher for laying the foam around the glass, and the other is a special unit to go on the end of the caulk tube. But basically you just need to put that foam unit, which has an adhesive on both sides, 3/16 of an inch in from the outer edge of your panel, and then you fill that gap with a sealant, and that will keep air from getting into the inside in between those 2 panes. Fogging occurs when there is a gap or a break in that seal, and then moisture can get in and condensate. So it's really important to get that seal perfect. I had to make a couple jigs. I'd kind of designed and made a couple jigs to make this process DIY friendly. Obviously, I'm using a table saw for this, but once you see the process, you could probably modify it or buy some angle iron or angle aluminum if you don't have a lot of tools. But basically, all I did was I had a 1/2 inch piece of MDF. I cut it the exact same size of my glass panes. I gave myself a little bit of wiggle room, maybe a 32/2 of an inch, just in case the glass wasn't all cut to the same size. I lined up these strips of cedar. These are just, it's 1 inch by 1 inch. I had this laying around my shop from an old project. You could really use any scrap for this. And I'm just cutting a 1/16 of an inch rabbet on all of my pieces. Now you could do this with a dado stack. I didn't feel like changing out my dado stack, so I did it with a single blade. It's basically just 2 cuts, the vertical cut and the horizontal cut, and there's my rabbet. So the height of this is a little bit higher than the height of that glass panel, so it slides in and out perfectly. And then I'm basically just going to tack this frame to that MDF. So you can see I'm sizing everything and cutting it. I'm just going to tack it in place with some brads, and then I could slide my panel inside. All my glass pieces will slide in and out. You could see how there's a gap underneath that lip. And then I have a perfect fence around the entire perimeter of the piece, spaced at exactly 3/16 of an inch in order to adhere that foam spacer. Now that foam spacer has desiccants in it, which is essentially, if you've ever opened something like beef jerky with that little silica gel packet, it's the same sort of stuff. It's used to pull moisture out of the air. So that foam spacer already has that. Then I'm going to use gravity in order to place the two panes of glass together. This one was really easy. It worked really well. It's basically just a sheet of scrap ply. I don't even know the measurements. I just made it big enough to cover the piece of glass with two pieces tacked on the ends at a perfect 90-degree angle. And then I had a scrap piece of wood laying around the shop so I could put it at an angle because I wanted to use gravity to help me align those pieces. This is the sealant I'm using. I will try and remember to put links to all these products in the description. None of this is sponsored. I'm not getting money for anything for those links. It's just what I used. And then you see I could slide the glass in there. The foam spacer comes in an aluminum bag like this. Because of the desiccants in there, you don't want this exposed to air for a long amount of time. You want to be able to seal it. So you'll see I make my piece. There is going to be adhesive on two sides. There's going to be a little foil strip on one of the sides. That foil strip's faces outward from the glass. So you won't be able to see it that well in this video because the foil strip is facing my wooden frame. And then I just line it up against the window. This is the first unit I made. In order to make the corners, I was kind of cutting with scissors little notches out so I could turn it, and then I could slide out my piece. As soon as you're done using the foam, I've sealed it back in the container because, like I said, they tell you not to let it be exposed to the atmosphere for a long amount of time. I could just place this in my second jig, peel off that adhesive strip, and then I could place the other piece of glass on it. You can see I could line it up with my fence and then just plop it in place. It's much easier to do this with a fence and with it cheated a little bit vertically versus on a flat surface. And then it's just a matter of filling this gap with this sealant. Like I said, this is a silicone. It kind of reminds me of the consistency of tar. It gets on everything. This was a really sloppy process, but the nice thing is you'll see later in the video, once this stuff dries, it's really easy to clean up. So I didn't spend a lot of time making sure I got it off every surface. Now, after I'd done the first one, I made a couple of changes to make the process more streamlined. One of those was I happened to have a chisel gouge, and in the directions for their jig, it shows you they actually notch the corners in a semicircle. So that makes it easier to turn. And then the piece I have for putting the caulk on, I made it a little undersized. It was hard to use that little piece of wood I had to push all of that sealant in. So now it's undersized and I could access all the edges. Other than that, this process worked really well. I was pleasantly surprised with how well it worked. So you see when I get to the edge, I can use my gouge to make a little semicircle. The goal here is not to go through the foam outer edge, keep it on that black foam surface, and then I could turn my corners much easier, became a faster process. All I'm really doing is once I get to the edge, I kind of clamp it on either side with my two fingers as marks, and I use that chisel in between the fingers, and this worked really well, so I could get it around. Now before I'm putting all this together, I'm cleaning thoroughly both sides of the surface of glass. I kind of touch it in parts in the video, but the outer glass I'm not really concerned about until I actually put it in place. You can see how nicely that little notch makes the corners. This is the gouge I am using to do that. And then, like I said, it's just a matter of, this was a little bit of a longer process. I still have a couple more units to do. I would say once I had this down to a more exact science, I could get one unit done in about 20 minutes. and it took, and I'm making 20 of these. And like I said, the whole reason I DIY'd this is because to get these professionally made would have cost a fortune. So that is basically what this is. And like I said, I want to emphasize I did not invent this process. These are materials that are sold on the market for this exact application. I just streamlined it a little bit for people that didn't want to spend the money on the tooling for this because they're not professionals. You can apply this stuff with a hot gun, the caulk, so it dries instantly. Those are very expensive. So I just got the tube caulk, and it says to let it dry for 24 hours for every 3/16 of an inch, but I'm gonna let this stuff dry for a couple days before I put it in the unit. And once it goes in the unit, it's also gonna have another layer of vulcanizing silicone around it, which will help seal these edges. But that is basically what these units look like. My first one was not as clean as the other one, so I'll probably put that towards the bottom of the door, which is a little bit harder to see. But like I said, I was pleasantly surprised with how it was easy to streamline this process. Now, for the video's purposes, I'm going to clean up the top of this a little bit. You could see it comes off really easily with just a razor blade, and it's going to fit quite nicely into my panels. Like I said, keep saying I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. And this unit I am making for someone I know, so I could keep you updated on the fog issue. People keep asking me if it's going to fog, and obviously the design is so that it doesn't. But if you don't put that caulk in properly, these pieces will fog. And then if you're watching the series on the French doors, this is the exact same process from both of the books. The older book doesn't even have the sealer. They were just using a piece of wood in between the double layers of glass. And then the nicer book I had, the guy that makes doors professionally, he's using professional grade insulated glass in his units, which, like I admit, is going to be a little bit nicer than this, but the double pane should give you energy efficiency much more so than single pane on something like this. Lastly, I got a fair amount of comments on the original video about why I didn't try and put argon gas in these panes like commercial units. And while I think it is doable, and if you want to do it, there's plenty of great comments on the original video showing you how to. I didn't do it because the energy efficiency of these doors is reliant on the space. And the space already has a plethora of older windows in it. At the time of installation, this door had no weather stripping, so air was leaking through there. And there was also 2 skylights that originally I thought were staying in the space that were also leaking. So you could have the most energy efficient doors over here. It wouldn't have mattered in this space.